Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick, today we're going to be talking about if you're looking to get into 3D printing to print your disposables for tattooing, what you would need to know. And we're just going to be talking about what you need to know to print, not how you can make your own grips or worry about slicers. Though I did put these up here, but I put 5 things up here. We're going to be focusing on 3. I just want these 2 out here so that you know where they kind of stand in the mix. So real quick, if you just want to print the disposable grips that we're going to be putting out, you only need 3 things. You need a printer, you need plastic, and you need, we're going to call it a 3D object. Technically, there's 2 files you're going to have here. You're going to have an STL file, and you're going to have a Gcode file. And so when you download this object, there's going to be 2 files that I'm going to include in there, and we'll get into that. Now down here, real quick, 4 and 5. If you want to build your own grips, we'll hop over to 5 real quick. If you want to make your own grips, you're going to need CAD, or computer-aided drafting. And this is going to be more advanced, where this is going to be kind of intermediate. But real quick, Fusion 360 is what I use for CAD. They have Autodesk, they have SolidWorks. I picked Fusion 360 because one, it is free, and it's really powerful software, as well as it has for tutorials inside the program, so it helps move you along really fast if you get hung up. So Fusion 360 is what I use, and I highly recommend that. So, and when you build your 3D object, it's gonna kick it out as an STL file. Okay, so that's that up here. Now, once you have your STL file, you can put in a slicer. And what is a slicer? A slicer is a program, and there's multiple ones out there, that basically cuts the 3-dimensional object up into a file that the machine can actually read and make. And it'll process it out as what it's called a Gcode. So if you're just looking to print, you're going to be focusing on this Gcode file. Okay, so you get your printer, you get your filament, you put your file on an SD card and put it in the printer. You're going to be looking at this file. So, by the way, if you do, and like I said, we can get into this later. If you do want to get into slicers, I use Cura. I've used it since 2015. It's a solid slicer. Love it. The nice thing about using Cura is it offers these Cura profiles. So I can export my profile, my print settings, and email it to you, and you can import it, and then it'll all be set. You don't have to go through trying to figure out all these numbers and what are all these buttons and settings do. It just makes things easier, which brings me to my first point on printers. If we can all kind of stay on the same printers or use the same printer, and I'm suggesting the Ender 3 Pro. 3 Pro, and I'm going to try and make some links and help you figure out where you can get that. So this is the printer I recommend, and here's the deal: is like I said, if we can all kind of stay with the same printers, the same if you get into slicers, the same slicers, it'll help troubleshoot if you have any problems. If everyone's using different printers and different slicers, it's going to be a nightmare. So just keeping it all on the same page makes things a lot easier. So and obviously this is just at the moment. Within a couple years, hopefully we'll be to the enclosed printers. 3D printing is still in somewhat of an infancy, and ideally we would like to get to the enclosed printing. That's kind of where 3D printing's headed. High dollar commercial printers are enclosed, stuff like that, but the ones out on the market for Joe Blow and me and you, they're just the enclosed ones that are out there are either like over $1,000 up to like $2,000, or they're junk. The Voxel by Monoprice, it looks sharp. It's an enclosed printer. As a matter of fact, it's actually a knockoff of the FlashForge Adventure 3, but they both look good. Had them both. Junk. They're just junk. Inadequate cooling. You just need to rip the electronics out and just restart. it's just junk, and nobody wants to do that. I can't ask you guys to do that. Most people just want to get into printing and print what's available. So that's why I suggest this one for now. And like I said, hopefully in the future we'll be into the enclosed printers for an affordable budget. The nice thing also about the Ender 3 is it was voted like 2019's top under $300 printer. There's such a big community with the Ender 3. It makes it, if you get hung up on anything, there's just so much content out there that'll kind of help you troubleshoot it. That's another reason of suggesting this one is it's just so user friendly. And when you get it, it comes with a video that you can watch to put it together. It's just really user friendly. So that's why I'm picking this one. Plus the quality of print that you can get for the amount you spend is just, there's nothing that can match it at the moment. So Ender 3 Pro, and that's my suggestion on that. Now, once you have your printer, you want to get some plastic filament. There's a lot of plastic filaments out there. We're going to be focusing on PLA, polylactic acid. So we'll put that up here, PLA, and it's non-toxic. And it's plant-based. It's actually made from like cornstarch or tapioca root, sugarcane starches. These food grade. All right. So PLA, that's what we're going to be printing with. That's the plastic. And you're going to be, if you get an Ender 3, you're going to be buying filament at a 1.75. There's 3 millimeter and a 1.75 millimeter. And this is just talking about, on this filament, the diameter. So they have larger chunks of filament and then smaller, thinner, kind of like spaghetti, you know, angel hair spaghetti versus just regular spaghetti. But the 1.5 has kind of become the standard over the years. It's easier to work through the Bowden tubes or the system. It's more flexible, and it's also easier to melt quicker. So it's just become the standard. Real quick also on this, people ask price. Matter of fact, I should probably put price up here for both. Price points on these. On an Ender 3, you're probably looking at like $250 to $325 for price, and this, if you're paying more than that, someone's getting you. So, and then on the plastic, we'll break it down like this. One roll is, depending on the quality of filament you buy, and remember, there's all kind of colors that you can buy and stuff in the PLA. So it's going to run you about $20 to maybe $35 a roll. And out of that, how many prints can you get? I should have do I have one? So we're going to use this as an example. This is my Delta. It's one of my favorites for the Bishop. I just love the feel in my hand of it. If you just print this, now I'm kind of moving into the encapsulated grips, so that's going to use a little more filament. But if you're just printing like this Delta grip, you can get about 50 to 60 grips out of one roll. So that's pretty economical, in my opinion. But anyways, so that's cost on both of these. Now let's talk about this 3D object. How do you get it? There's a matter of fact, there's multiple websites. I like Thingiverse, but it's a website that allows you to upload files and allows anybody to download them for free. 3D object files. So Thingiverse.com. Now with this, when you go here and let's say we're going to talk about this Delta grip, the Delta grip file. Delta grip. When you download that, right now, but I'm about to switch it over, It just has an STL file in it. But I'm going to be including the Gcode file. And remember, this file is going to be specifically wrote for the Ender 3. So, so you don't have to do anything. You're just going to get your printer, get your filament, and then you'll put this on an SD card and put it inside the printer and hit print. So this is the 3 things you need, and this is where you're going to be getting it. Let's see, I think that's about it. And this is the file that you would be using. Now again, if you want to get into making your own grips, we'll be covering into that, as well as just setting up your own bed configurations, whether you want to print 5 grips at once or whatever, instead of just one at a time. We'll get into slicers, and that, like I said, I kind of put a beginner on the slicer here because with this Cura profile, it helps so much, but it is still kind of intermediate. Now that we went over that and you know what you need, printer, filament, and file, let's talk about where you can get these 2 things real quick. You can get them from Amazon. And again, I'm going to try and include some links, but eBay. And Creality is the actual original producer of the Ender 3 Pro. But they open sourced everything, so there's actually a lot of people who manufacture it now. But if you want to support the original people, I think it's creality.com. You can get it from there. And like I said, I'll include some links. Obviously, Amazon comes really fast, so it's your call. But so that is probably it for today. Real quick though, I do want to leave you just to think about the possibilities with 3D printing, or just to understand how customizable or personable you can get with things. Let's take this grip for example. This grip having 3 faces, it's gonna sit in everybody's hand kind of differently. Everybody's gonna kind of find their own feel as to the way they like that, right? And so once you got that feel there that you like, or however you position it, you know, everybody's different. And you put your cartridge in, your cartridge might be like sideways, right? But you like that, the way it sits like that, right? The nice thing about 3D printing is we can actually orientate the inside lockout so that it keeps your mag faced up, you know, wherever you find your nice comfort point. Lots of things. It's even to the point where we could send you a clay mold of a grip, right? And then you could actually impression it with your own, send you a few of them, and impression them with your own feel, your own handprint, so that it will fit it perfectly. And then you ship it back, we 3D scan it, make you a file. There's just a lot of possibilities. It's just, not only is it cool, it's just I see a bright future in it. So anyways, I just wanted to let that sit with you for a little bit. But yeah, extreme customability. So, all right, if you have any more questions, if you feel I didn't cover something or you want to know more, leave me a message or drop me a comment, a DM or whatever, and I'll try and get it answered ASAP for you. 5 is going to be on your printer heads. The tip is brass. It's standard that way. Almost every printer comes that way unless you're buying some high dollar industrial printer. The problem with brass is it can contain lead. Some brass can contain lead, and at high temperatures it can leach that lead into the plastic. So the simple fix for that is stainless steel. This is a stainless steel tip. I'm going to try and get it in there so you can see. It's just a 1.4 size. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, so that's that, and you would change that tip out. I'll be making instructional videos for all this. Don't worry. Don't feel overwhelmed or that you have to be tech savvy to do all this. A little bit of time each night and you'll have it in no time, just like a video game. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Again, put those questions or concerns in the bottom and I'll try and address them. Have a good one.